Hello everybody. Welcome to round 5 of today's tournament. This is going to be the first game of a best of 5. Coincidentally, round 5 at the top left of Frost Ladder Edition is going to be xSaga Kozan. Our green Terran player, and at the bottom left is going to be our blue Terran player from last dynasty, also known as last Anwis. xSaga versus last Kozan versus Anwis. I do know, a little birdie tells me that Anwis used to be on xSaga, so I believe that these players probably played a few games with each other, or at least have met each other and spoken with each other. It's kind of weird. We're going to see a TVT for the finals. That's a best of 5 where really TVT I feel like is known for very heavy aggression, very heavy harassment / aggression. So I'm very excited to have a TVT for the finals. Already one gas being taken here by Kozan at the top left. A rack's being taken shortly after, while Anwis, on the other hand, gonna delay that racks from going down anytime soon. Is he crazy enough to put a command center down? No, he isn't. Oh no, you didn't, girlfriend. Oh no, you didn't. Anwis with the command center at 15 supply. Also with a very early scout. Anwis walking on eggshells here. He's gonna have a hard battle ahead of him. But if he can get away with this in the early game, things are gonna get a lot nicer as we move into a mid game. But the question here is Kozan gonna allow that to happen? I don't know. We got a little force cancel on the Ghost Academy. We've got a Ghost Academy coming out here right in the face of Anwis. I wouldn't be surprised to see that cancel later on, but Anwis sees the Ghost Academy going down. We've got Arax and then Ghost Academy, the one gas down, and this is just getting weird. This just went from amazing to weird. Alright, this Marine gonna be able to take that out. Are we gonna complete that? We're gonna complete that. Yeah, we're completing that. Alright, everyone. I need everyone to take out their books. Uh-oh. Kozan. Oh, no. Oh, no. Say it ain't so. Say okay, so what I was going to say is I need everyone to take out their SC2 scrapbooks, and I need you guys to start writing down this build order, because this is gonna get weird. Now it looks like we do have an accidental Ghost Academy, which is way different from an on-purpose Ghost Academy. The second gas going down here in Kozan. I feel like he could do something with that academy. I feel like he could make something happen with that academy, but we'll see what he wants to do with it, if he's just gonna kind of lay it over to the side for a little bit here, because we're getting a very standard 1-1-1 opening here coming down from Kozan. The only problem here is that factory and that starport is going to be significantly later than it should be, as that Ghost Academy does not come cheap. And Anwis over here with the second gas, more than on the way, the engineering bay more than on the way, as well as a pesky reactor. Only one racks to save him from the inevitable ghost rush, as we don't quite see a ghost coming out quite yet. But anything's possible. Big shout out to Clan xSaga, by the way, as well as Clan Last, also known as Last Dynasty. Big shout out to them and their player, Kozan and Anwis, currently participating in this best of 5 here. This is the finals. The winner gets Pumpkin Pie. And if you don't like Pumpkin Pie, you're killing esports. Factory going down. Factory is down. It's going to take a reactor. It's going to make a quick switcheroo, actually. I'm really not sure what's going on here anymore. No bunker going down as we got an expansion relatively fast, considering what went down. And this notch actually not looking as saturated as I would expect it to look here, but I trust Anwis hasn't missed a single SCV on his way here, as we do see one tech lab on the starport. Nothing on the factory, as our first Widow Mine is about to come out. Widow Mine going to make that defense a lot nicer. And we do have a... Ooh, very cute. We have a Raven out on the map. Do we have any ghosts coming out here? Come on, move it. Move it. No ghosts on the map here. This is going to be a juke and a half here for Kozan. Builds the Ghost Academy in plain sight. Doesn't use it. Jukes his opponent from defending by forcing his opponent to defend against a Ghost Rush. So it looks like he's going to be alright. Alright, the saturation is looking significantly different here. Oh man, I was honestly surprised and excited. I was sure that this was part of his super secret build that he's been saving just for Anwis up until this time here. Second Viking joining his predecessor, which is the Raven. Only Marines and tanks moving out here, and suddenly this army is moving across the field here. Now, Anwis does have this watchtower, but at the same time, that watchtower not going to help him in spotting this attack that is imminent here. This Viking, though, going to keep an eye, make sure that he sees any dropships over here, and if anything gets by the Viking, the Widow Mine is sure to help out. Now, what is the production we're seeing here? Now, here's something from Anwis. Anwis techs up. Anwis seems like What's the nicest way to say this? He seems greedy. We got double engineering base. We've got add-ons left and right. Really, we don't have that many units over here, and Anwis is going to deal with a timing window here. His opponent is going to have more units than he does. This is reminding me from a typical Brood War PvP where everyone rushed out the Dragoon range and started pummeling the natural with the Dragoon range up until the opponent got the Dragoon range. So clearly the correct response to this is to build a bunker closer to your opponent. Just kidding. Alright. Anwis micromanaging these units very well. Suddenly, Kozan has the high ground advantage here. Looks like that tank is going to go down. Would love to see that tank get healed, but it would be pretty crazy to see a mule get mannered down there. Alright, very interesting angle coming here from Kozan. Suddenly, Kozan taking some fire though. Looks like the point defense drone is not going to help out in this situation here. Suddenly, Anwis with the home team advantage, taking out all the SCVs. 1 point defense drone going down on that tank is going to take out the last health bar that he had available. And suddenly it's Marine versus Marine here. No medevacs for either player. One Raven for Anwis. And Kozan gonna kind of forfeit one game. I'm sure Kozan gonna kind of kick himself for making that Ghost Academy in the beginning. Alright, that third expansion is going down far faster than Anwis's. Anwis does have his command center down, however it's not floated, not moving on over to the third. These players though staying toe to toe with each other right now. I feel like Kozan felt like he had to be the aggressor just because he made the silly mistake. He needed to keep he couldn't just let his opponent, he couldn't just let Anwis sit back and macro up. And we do see Kozan moving on back to his home base, to his home turf. Anwis is going to be able to conquer the tower that was previously taken by Kozan, that poor Marine. Oh, it's so brutal. And it's time for Anwis to move out. Question is, will it be defensive or offensive? And it looks like he's not going to move out to be offensive at all. Anwis, the polite gentleman, Will not offend anyone. SCV just hanging out. Just chilling. Just chilling. Nope, not chilling anymore. He's going to make the dreaded, the obscure, the sensor tower. I imagine sensor towers are used the most in TVT, as those are such position battles where the home advantage, the home team advantage, really means something very significant, as I imagine it would in most mirror matchups. Alright, this army evenly positions between the natural and the third, ready to pounce on any unit that tries to offend. And third base being taken by both these players, and suddenly we're going to see a macro game going on here from Kozan and Anwis. Both players have their own tower, but Anwis is getting a little greedy here. He wants both the towers. He's going to have plenty of fire. He's not going to have enough firepower to take it. Both of those Marines living as 3 more Marines move out across the map to make sure that that tower's his. It's always, well, actually, he's not even going for the tower, but it's always nice to see people battling for the towers. I love that. I love it a lot. Oh, buddy. How is this going down? Alright. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Let's look at the production facilities. We got double upgrades going down for Kozan, as well as 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 Raxes, 2 factories. Each factory with a tech lab, as well as medevac, the option of medevacs or Vikings. However, we're not using this starport right now. Both armies moving out across, and it looks like Anwis is doing a nice job here. He's checking out all the other bases to make sure that there's not a secret command center out. He wants to make sure that his opponent is getting more economy than his, or else he's got to ramp it up himself, especially with these mirror matchups. It's far more cutthroat if your opponent gets some kind of economic advantage that you're not aware of. And Anwis being proactive about doing that across the map. We don't see Kozan worrying about that right now, but of course he can't, because Anwis is taking this position in the middle of the map, far away from home. The tanks are in siege mode. We have one pesky little mine. It's hopefully gonna pull his weight, and some medevacs moving out across the map. Let's see this beautiful rally point. He is ready to pounce on the third. Beautiful. And Anwis gonna take the roundabout approach, and I think well, that scan did catch the medevac. And with that medevac knowledge, Anwis is gonna move. Anwis is gonna turn right around. And he's gonna double juke it. And Anwis does have the watchtower, which means Kozan might be caught a little bit off guard here, as he did not have the foresight, and the benefit of this tower's vision. Taking out some of the units from Kozan. 200 supply to 198 supply, and right now we're gonna start seeing what happens when both players are maxed out. Both players have about the whole map to themselves. We're seeing a dance for the middle of this map. Those Marines, ooh, getting pummeled down so hard. 185 to 195 supply here. xSaga versus last. Kozan versus Anwis. Terran versus Terran. Anwis, with these 3 Marines, is going to be able to see when the next expansion gets taken. We're going to see a lot of scans going down in the next 10 minutes. And the 4th base will be over here, as we see the jello mold of it queued up. Scans going down crazy here. This Raven is lucky to be alive, but before it does die, it's going to get a point defense drone going down. Going to take out 1 full tank. Going to take out more than half of another tank and bring the other 2 tanks almost to half life. These point defense drones actually do astounding amount of damage towards tanks. I'm quite surprised here. Let's see. We got 5 Marines. Gonna meet 4 Marines. Anyways, I'm gonna lose that battle at that ridge over there. And we do see more and more command centers coming out here from Anwis. However, they're not placed quite yet on the mineral patches here. The scans going down like crazy. Hopefully those guys aren't trapped. And hopefully they're not forgotten either. 2 tanks loaded up. 1 SCV or 1 medevac with loading it up. We got 3 tanks. We've got a big drop. We've got a big drop coming down here, and I imagine it's going to be at the natural. Big scan going down here. Not sure if you saw. Yeah, we're seeing this battle for this ridge right here. This ridge is very important as it gives a completely new avenue of attack here. A lot of units, some units, you know, stand behind. And suddenly, Anwis, I'm not sure if how much he's taken off guard from this, but 1 starport is going to go down. These SCVs, that's some nice reaction time with pulling those SCVs back. These tanks going to be a little late to the party here, but suddenly these medics, these Marines, looking a lot stronger with the medevac support. And these tanks going to go down so fast as they get pincered. A little donation of medevacs also going down there. Nice little attack, though. Is going to take out a starport. It's going to also make Anwis's whole army reposition on the map. Looking at these units, we got 2-2 on the bio. We've got +1 attack for Kozan. Ooh, that's really nice, though. The Raven was able to get off the was able to get that off, and even though it died, the attack still went through. I feel like Ravens are amazing in TVT. But for the mech of Anwis, we got +1 as well. 3-3 for Anwis here. 2-2 for Kozan here. 4th expansion taken for both of these players. However, looking at the mineral lines, it looks like Anwis has taken his 4th a little bit later than his opponents here. And we've got Kozan moving down the middle of the map here. Anwis actually moving on back here. Going to use a full stim on all of his units to try and catch up his opponent. These scans going down back and forth, and suddenly we're going to have a big engagement here. The tanks are down. Both players being a little shy with their Marines, do not want to lose them all to nothing here. And Anwis with a pesky Banshee is going to be able to get some free damage on these tanks. I don't think Kozan is noticing it quite yet. Take advantage clearly in Anwis' favor. These Banshees are going to give him a little bit more leverage and push him forward. However, he's losing all of his Marines. Oh, these Marines. And let's look at the at the same time, let's look at this medevac count. Suddenly Kozan doesn't really have an army to stand on here, and Anwis, with a lot of tanks still left over and a full fleet of medevacs, with any bio coming up for backup, is going to be 10 times stronger. So many scans going down. These scans so important. To show you guys just how important these scans are, we're going to go to Kozan's view of this game. We do have 3 starports on the way here. And now this 5th base he wants to take, but he is going to meet those Marines that were hanging out there. Look at all those scans going down. Those scans are just beautiful here. And a big engagement going down here. Marines going for it here, and it looks like the tank count is just too much. Those tanks were in time. They were in siege mode in time. And this command center is going to start going under fire. Suddenly, it looks like SCVs healing the command center just isn't enough. Oh, and some Marines just running to their doom. Oh, some tanks running to their doom. It looks like that's not on purpose here. Anwis going balls to the walls here. More tanks, more Marines, more medevacs. Right now, Anwis is going to outnumber his opponent in just about every unit possible, or at least every unit that they both have on the ground. Now, this isn't completely over for Kozan. Kozan does have another base. He does have a 3rd base, but He does have a fourth base. He does have a fifth base that will turn into his fourth base. But this momentum is just too strong. These tanks, immovable objects here, giving Anwis this win. And but if it wasn't enough, the battle cruiser clearly would have changed the tide of battle.